Hi.
Hi, Alex.
Really nice to meet you.
Likewise, thanks for having me.
Thank you. Well, tell us, what are you doing here?
Sure. So my name's Miller Morris. I'm a reproductive health researcher and epidemiologist turned founder and CEO. I work at a startup called HIPAA. We're harnessing the power of periods for personalized and preventative health. So we use the menstrual cycle using self-report data through our secure cycle tracking app and the diagnostic power of menstrual effluent or period blood to think about early risk for disease and getting folks to care that they need before they're sicker than they need to be.
Sounds very important.
Thanks, I think so too.
How did you come up with an idea?
Yeah, so I worked in public health for quite some time. I was doing research in a rural part of Western Kenya where we know that girls staying in school was one of the biggest forces towards gender equity. They were less likely to experience HIV/AIDS or gender-based violence or long-term poverty the longer they stayed in school. But a lot of these girls were dropping out because they couldn't manage their menstruation. And it made me realize that this is a process that 51% of the world experiences for about 40 years of their life. And unfortunately, it was built as an industry that wasn't really built by the people who experience periods on a regular basis. And so this is kind of our response to what does it look like to reimagine a space that we've said is an aisle at Target or Walmart, but could actually be so much more and really, really powerful in healthcare.
We just recorded a podcast on women's health and how hard it is to fundraise in this space.
Yes.
Do you see there's a trend of kind of shifting this trend towards better situation or not?
It's a good question, and I think it's both and. We saw a record amount of capital invested into women-led and women-focused VC-backed startups in about 2019, 2020, 2021. And then we saw that trend dip down again in 2022, 2023, and 2024. And so while I think that as a chapter of history, the 2020s have been better than anything else, I also think that this is going to be a really important sustained push in the funding industry. And unfortunately, this is not something that we can solve with a few years of equal representation of investment. Health has been under-researched, understudied, neglected, stigmatized, buried, and thought about as kind of like a deviation from men's health for centuries and centuries and centuries. And so a few years of more checks is not gonna cut it. Last year we closed a seed round, and I feel really lucky because only 2% of venture capital funding went to women founders in the year 2024, which is unacceptable, especially considering we're building solutions for quite literally half the population. We can do a lot better.
Tell us, do you think there is still a lot of misunderstanding on the investor side that this is not just for impact or social good, this actually can be a good business?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, without a doubt, there's misunderstanding from the investor side, and that includes women and men. The fact that there's a dearth of research and science about women's health and the opportunities in women's and reproductive health means that all of us don't fully understand how powerful this work could be, right? And so every time somebody makes an investment in a women's health company, and that women's health company brings the space forward, it's a multiplier for other founders to come back with additional solutions, to raise their own capital, and to really catalyze the momentum that we have. And I think that a lot of us in the space, particularly founders who are often charged with telling the story of what our work does, are figuring out that sometimes the story that you tell to investors and to end users or to customers and consumers in other industries is very different. But in women's health, a lot of times it's the same. It's that we're building something where there was nothing before, and that's compelling regardless of the vertical.
What's the next big challenge for you?
Well, I am raising capital right now. So as we spoke about, that is inherently challenging, and I'm reminding myself that just like customer acquisition, fundraising is a funnel. You start with a whole lot of people who may not be a perfect fit at the beginning, and then you hopefully get closer to people who are really aligned and can have strategic value in addition to writing checks. But also something I'm really excited about at what we're doing at HIPAA, we're the only period care company and the only cycle tracking app that's built aligned with HIPAA, which is the legislation that tells doctors and healthcare providers and insurance agencies what they can and cannot do with data, namely sell it for profit. because of that, we are really interested in the fact that we are the only cycle tracking app that can integrate with electronic medical records and have these data really bring real-time, hyper-local, personalized information about a patient to a provider. And so we're building that interface right now, that interoperability structure, and it's really exciting. We have a great growing group of clinician scientists who are advising us on our clinical and scientific advisory board, so hoping to meet some great docs, great nurses, great researchers here at Health.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I really appreciate your time and your questions.